blockchain, what are the use cases, how you can invest in it. And then it's kind of very interesting. The question is, what is the blockchain? Kind of who are the people who maintain the blockchain? And kind of in very plain language, these miners, or kind of, if you come from finance, they are settlement agents. So today, actually, at the panel, I'm going to moderate a panel where we have really two gentlemen with practical experience about mining. You know, they really do it, and they're the ones actually maintaining the blockchain and kind of keeping it alive. So I would like to invite to the stage two young gentlemen, a gentleman, not so young, Rüdiger Albrecht from ReEnergize and Matthias Westman from NBM. Welcome. So I just gave a short introduction a little bit about kind of how mining is an integral component of the blockchain and the whole industry, kind of why we are here. So, I mean, it would be very interesting maybe for the whole audience to kind of understand a little bit of historical background about mining, how it evolved. Maybe also you can give a bit of your thoughts where mining is now, and maybe, you know, kind of say where do you see mining going forward in the future. So, Matthias, if you would mind starting.
It's a long question.
Yes.
Well, I would like to start with a particular historic situation in China that shows how intertwined mining is with the macroeconomic development in the world, political developments, and of course power prices, because electricity is one of the main factors in mining. In the 2000s, the energy price in the United States for industrial power would be 3 cents a kilowatt hour. Now guess what would be the price in China? Do you think it's cheaper? It wasn't. It was 8 cents per kilowatt hour, because China had a boom, industry was growing, and they needed a tremendous amount of power, new every year, and the effect was that the price was quite high. Then after 2012, after the financial crisis, we had a downturn, energy became cheaper, energy markets were freed in China, and at the same time, which was a coincidence, of course, mining came up, crypto mining, and China became the hub because the energy prices fell to 3 cents. And now, this year, we all learned that the Chinese government was following or was trying to forbid crypto mining. And suddenly all these miners had to move out from China. So you see, it is a strong relationship between politics, economic growth, energy prices, and it's good to be flexible in this field. And this is also why Envion has decided to come up with a concept that combines flexibility, mining in mobile mining containers, so we can react to political and economic situations.
Mm-hmm. And just kind of, would you say where do you see mining kind of going forward? You mentioned very interesting that, you know, electricity is a big cause that we can discuss later, you know, kind of having this flexibility. What do you think is the next driver going forward that will be a really, very relevant factor to having a successful mining operation? Maybe draw on your experience from Envion.
Well, I think energy prices are a big factor, but also the criticism in the public that mining has become environmentally not sustainable. That's one important thing, and that increases the pressure to look for alternatives. On the other hand, I believe that Bitcoin has already become a kind of a legacy currency that will stay. But all the other, or most of the other currencies will probably face a lot of challenge and competition from faster solutions, right? And of course, environmentally more convenient solutions that, you know, work with proof of stake or other solutions.
And Rüdiger, I mean, we had a very interesting discussion before when you kind of tried to paint a picture a little bit about what ReEnergize does. So, I mean, can we also hear a bit about your experience, kind of what are you doing and kind of what is the work behind, you know, and that kind of also give your thoughts about where mining is going in the future. Where are the trends?
First of all, it's a pleasure to be here, to Ralph, thank you very much for Lakeside Partners. We have 3 parts in our business or in our ICO. The first part is the core part, yeah? We want to do something like humanity and green energy for mining or for other companies, and we can put in waste into energy. Mm-hmm. So this is the first part. The second part is we build up a platform for gamers who hate miners maybe because the GPU prices growing up very fast and very much. And the third part is we build up a mining farm. Mm-hmm. And let me describe each part. The first part is we can put every waste and every garbage like plastic, wheels, everything, old GPUs, old ASICs inside there. And we have a concept that calls thermocatalytic cracking. So we're working together with 2 universities. First of all is the University in Bratislava. Then we have the FH Binkerfeld, and we got the HTL in Eisenstadt. And each of these guys are working behind there. They have a concept. So we have, without harmful emission, a concept we can put in the waste. For the waste we become money, and on the other side there comes output. And this output we can sell again. So, and we can sell it, but we can take the energy for the mining part. So we can make the mining part, or the mining station, or the mining farm, 50% cheaper with our concept. Let me explain this. So, Bitcoin was criticizing for the higher consumption for energy, Ethereum too, but all I want to say is gold mining needs 132 terawatt each hour, and Bitcoin mining 45 terawatt. So I don't think that's the important thing, that Bitcoin or the proof of work doesn't work. Yeah, with our concept, we want to work we want to work the proof of work concept for making it a greener energy and a better thing than it was before. So in the platform, we build up a gamer platform. So every gamer or every guy who wants to give us our hash rate or his power from his computer, we can change it into our hash rate. So let me explain. If some gamer doesn't want to play, he is going to our marketplace and put his energy in our marketplace. And so he get the benefit, a token. And the other side, there are many people outside that want to be mined, and then they can mine every coin inside the platform. So we are decentralizing that. On the part of the mining, we going with the consumption lower, and of the side on the green energy, we do many benefits to people. We know that plastic is in every seas. Plastic is found in a whale, 30 kilos. It's standing in the newspaper last week. It's terrible. So we want to make with our ICO 3 usages.
So, I mean, if I can kind of summarize what we kind of touched upon, is that kind of mining shifted in terms of how the business is done kind of quite significantly over the last couple of years. I mean, it's very interesting you mentioned sustainability in terms of context of the mining. Then we talked about actually having the right infrastructure in place to kind of make mining as decentralized as possible. So we kind of heard a lot of arguments why mining is kind of quite relevant for the blockchain, but let me kind of try to push back and say that there is new technology coming out, you know, because we're talking about technology so much, and that's the so-called hash graph, kind of that in its essence, there's a possibility to eliminate mining itself from maintaining the blockchain. So kind of to be very provocative, you know, for everybody here in the crowd, do you see this as a challenge? Do you see this as a threat, or you actually see it as a new opportunity? So actually the question for both of you.
Well, I think there is every month there's a new technology that has the potential to replace proof of work. It could be Tangle, or maybe not. It could be other technologies, Hashgraph. I think there will be a coexistence between two methods. And in the end, if you talk about large volumes of transactions, like millions a second or so, we will definitely have not proof of work. We will have more intelligent solutions. That's for sure.
But do you see actually then that the mining kind of could survive in the context of the store of value that, you know, kind of Bitcoin carries as the kind of this holy grail of the crypto community? Do you think that can kind of take the mining going forward for the next 10 to 20 years?
That's a long time.
Yep.
I'm not really sure. I think it will persist in for certain applications, and I think Bitcoin is very important for it. And I think there is if you look at Bitcoin, it's already a legacy or a tradition where many people believe in. And if you compare that to gold, people believe in gold because it's there. It has been there for thousands of years. You know, with every year that Bitcoin survives, the probability will increase that it survives longer, right? So I think there is a good chance that mining and Bitcoin will be around for some time, but the dominating importance of miners in that section, so to say, will maybe be reduced. And I also see that The profitability of mining sees some waves, goes up and down, but the trend channel of mining is the trend is downwards. It will not maintain levels of 50, 100% per annum. That's for sure, because capital is going in droves into that sector, and naturally margins going to be normalized.
So, Rudiger, I mean, Matthias has been very, very optimistic, you know, making a very strong argument, you know, that mining can make you the next millionaire or billionaire or something like that. So, do you share the same thoughts, or do you actually see, you know, new technologies coming out that would really challenge mining?
Yeah, my opinion is distributed ledgers they can give us three parts of it, yeah? Maybe Hashgraph or Tangle, but I think in the pool position there is blockchain. Because if we are looking on the Ethereum Alliance, there are many big players are working with them on creation on new blockchain technology systems, and they are growing and growing. So another example, we got Blu-ray and HD DVD. No one has HD DVD. Everyone has Blu-ray. So they are the same like distributed ledgers. So I think, it's my opinion, that blockchain exists in 10 years also, but Tangle and Hashgraph will also get his chance.
Okay. And I mean, then also, I mean, let's try to be a bit more provocative. And I mean, you touched a bit upon what are the returns of investments in mining. And I think maybe for everybody in the crowd, they would like to kind of have a better understanding what is the capacity in terms of profitability there. So without kind of wrecking the business model that you have and, you know, not exposing too much information, but can you give a little bit of, maybe a bit more details about how profitable this is and just why is everybody rushing into this business? So for both of you, please reveal.
Well, I start. When we started our ICO in December, you could theoretically have a profit margin of 300 and even more percent. So within 3-4 months you would have your capital back and go on to be very happy. But unfortunately, that margin was not maintained, and we are now down at 50-40%. It might go up. As I said, there is a large fluctuation in profitability rates, and as soon as it goes up, capital rushes in. There is more hashing power in the market, then of course the margins go down. It's a normal, in German we say Schweinezyklus, I don't know what the name in English is for it. Yeah.
And Rudiger, what are your thoughts? I mean, please do share.
Yeah, I think that mining is, I say to my customers, maybe you got in 1 hour, 1 year or in 2 years your return of investment. So that I sell. I got my own sales company. I'm working with a mining company in Austria. We are starting it last year. We don't got any ICO, but we are founding $50 million with tiny investors. And we make managed hostings packages for customers. And there are, in 7 months, we got the first guys who have return of investment. And then the market is crashing, the hash power, you know what you said before, that's true. And so I think if you're going in mining, we have cheap energy, because we can make it with the new conception what we have, we can 50% less. So I think there was a better way to mine, yeah. So we can make a better return of investment, and that's the important thing, because the customers has to be get money back. So our ICO is proof of concept. We have the mining farm also, and we have that thermocatalytic cracking also in the university. And that's the most important thing. We have to do something like proof of concept and not wishes to sell. It's the same to the mining or the same to every blockchain ICO.
And just to kind of try to then end the discussion very slowly with regards to I mean, you touched upon also the topic of being mobile in the context of the mining facility and the mining infrastructure, because kind of the electricity mandates the cost and the profitability. So kind of to put a geopolitical wrapper around that question, which country do you see actually being the dominant force going forward in terms of the money? Will it actually be China? Will it go kind of towards Scandinavia? Is it Canada? Or there will be a country that will strategically invest into that to actually just kind of kind of reap the benefits about it forward. So if you can kind of very shortly.
Well, I see there is a belt of countries around Russia, the former Soviet Union states, where you have a lot of cheap energy. That will prevail probably. You have a lot of renewable energy, permanent hydro in Canada. 13 seconds I can see. So that's it.
And Rüdiger?
Yeah, we are getting mobile too, like Envion, because that's the important thing. So if come regulations, you can go away. And that's the important thing. So you have to change everything. You have to go faster. You have to go better.
So then I thank you for the talk. And I mean, we talked about mobility, and I think Dan wants us to be mobile now as well at the end of the discussion. So
you can visit us on our booth outside. ReEnergize.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Let's give them a hand. Okay, can we do one more last panel? Talk